Let's give Matt a round of applause.
Hey everyone. So I'm Matt. I do the socials here and marketing at ETHWarsaw. So anything that you guys have seen online, Twitter, that's all coming from me. This guy. Lots of hours of work go into setting something up like this, as I'm sure all of you know, and it's we're really happy that you're here. I was just having a talk with one of the other founders about the turnout. We're sitting at like over 1,000 people that are going to come through this venue over the next like 4 days. So really awesome in a bear market to just hear those kinds of numbers. We had no idea that it was going to turn out as much as it did. So thank you guys for being here. Also, I think it's really awesome how there is like, this is the only cool room in like the entire, there's air conditioning here. It's a sauna everywhere. So you guys have like the hack. All right, let me kick it off. So you guys are here. I'm going to be talking about NFTs, meeting real world asset use cases. Excuse me, I needed to delete that. It's actually just real world use cases. So about me, I told you that I'm the social media manager here. I'm part of the core team at ETHWarsaw, as well as the Forge DeFi, which is a NFT gated DeFi real estate platform, and a crypto tax firm. So I do social media for US-based customers that need help with their crypto taxes. My path in crypto, I've been working in crypto for about 2.5 years now. Started off as an investor, then started working for Bondly, which was an NFT millhouse. I pretty much took the account from 20,000 followers to 60,000 followers. We had about 5 million in NFT sales in the 6 months that I worked there. I did sales for Tory Lanez, Logan Paul, Louis Capaldi. Those are kind of just like famous projects that we worked on while I was there. TrueFi, so those of you that know TrueFi, don't know TrueFi, is one of the OG sponsors from last year. They kind of broke off and are Archblock now. I see some faces here that, what's up, man, that still work there. I was part of the marketing team, took the account from 20,000 to 87,000 Twitter followers, 3,000 Discord members to 25,000, and we've also hosted throughout the year last year, had about 5,000 people show up at our in-person events. So that's kind of my journey. So real world use cases. I am going to talk about 3 main topics during this 30-minute talk about NFTs and how they, I think a new narrative needs to be brought out. We're going to be talking about broadening adoption, revenue generating business models, and bringing asset ownership to the holders. So these 3 topics, at minimum, is what I want you guys to walk away with from this conversation. I think they are what we need to as an industry, and what I'm working on to adapt and develop into the industry in order to kind of like bring NFTs and crypto to the next level. So here is the NFTs, the good, right? So during the bull market, everything was great, snazzy. NFTs were the hot thing. Logan Paul, he has a good and also a bad side to his story. He sold a bunch of NFT Pokemon digital assets or digital collectibles, and I think like both of these sold out in about like 90 seconds, because back then there was so much liquidity in the market. All you needed to do was just launch the project, have the paperwork signed with your client, and you can sell out NFTs. It was ridiculous. I think that now looking back on it, it's kind of like, what the hell were we thinking? But in my opinion, when the bear is here and everyone has cash to throw around, like stuff like this can happen. Tory Lanez, on one hand, he's in jail right now because he shot someone in the foot, but like he did a really good job because he took himself as an independent artist and sold NFTs for $1 a pop and ended up selling over 1 million albums for $1 online. And so he pulled in $1 million in liquidity. In volume over a 90-second period of time. So he did a great job independently selling, with using our team, selling his NFTs. So this is the shitty part about NFTs. So why is the price shitting itself? Everyone talks about the floor, like how, is this a new measure of success? Like, we all saw this was a real scam, right? So like you have folks that come in, and as soon as any sort of FUD starts to hit the community or any sort of uncertainty about what the fuck is this project doing or where's the team going, this sort of stuff happens. And in my opinion, why does it happen? I think it's because people, fluff up what they promise. They don't have actual use cases to their NFTs. You can say things are coming and that we're building and we're figuring things out until that doesn't work. And then things like this happen. So let me look, just looking for my water really quick. But NFT metrics, like if you look on the left side of this chart, this is all the way back in 2017 when NFTs were created. Thanks, Rafa. And liquidity was low, volume was very low, go all the way to 2021, June, summer, DeFi, everything popped. We went up to from no purchases to yielding millions, hundreds of millions of dollars a month. Eventually we bumped up to 1.2 billion a month. Then in 2022, shit dropped and shit did not look good. Which is kind of where we went to over here. This statistic is literally absurd. We all know NFTs tend to trend to zero over time. But the fact that since September 2021, NFT sales have dropped by 92% goes to show you that this is kind of like the shitcoin market, but even worse. It's like they're just like the shitcoins of shitcoins. So there's just no liquidity in the market anymore. People are literally holding JPEGs right now. So sorry, sucks to suck, but that's what happens when you don't have a roadmap or a future planned out for your project. So yeah, the high spikes over there on that second graphic is that $1 billion that I was talking about, and eventually it trends down. This graphic right here talks about from January of this year all the way to August, right before August, downward trend as well. So it's you can kind of see it's a 90% drop in volume as well. By the way, who here owns NFTs? Did anyone buy NFTs at any point? Did anyone trade NFTs? So do you guys in the back maybe shout out what you own if you don't want to, if you're cool to share? Is it monkeys? Did you buy giraffes? I'm kidding. You don't have to share what you. But we've all dabbled. It seems like a good majority of us at least have dabbled in some sort of NFT, trading or purchasing. So I think the biggest thing here to ask ourselves is how did we get here, right? And through these 4 points, false promises, rugs, it goes back to what I was saying earlier. It's founders used to promise you the world, but they would deliver on literally nothing. And so over, a 6 month to 9 month period of time, you say that you're going to build the next generation of Web3 NFTs and all you can do is, the best you can do is a Shopify store. People are gonna floor the NFT at that point. So from seeing that happen time and time again, and getting rugged over and over again, the community ended up getting very, very burnt out from that. So false promises, unrealistic roadmaps. Influencer hype marketing is a very tough subject to talk about because not only will the influencers push their agenda on you to get you to buy the NFT, they'll also use you as exit liquidity. A lot of people, I don't think, talk about this, and I think that this needs to be spoken about in the industry because it's very scammy. It's not morally, I wouldn't be able to do something like that. I think it's very you're literally stealing your followers' money, and they are the ones that are supporting you to become the person that you have become on Twitter. This is all that's kind of what I'm getting at is influencers on Twitter. And then the problem with that culture is that they then focus on the people that are trying to call them out publicly and shame them because they have a bigger following, and then those folks end up getting rugged because they get gaslit into thinking that they did something wrong. So number 4, I don't know if you guys are any degens in here. I will proudly say I fall into this kind of trap sometimes, but culture of excess gambling. I think there's a lot of herd mentality stuff that happens in the crypto world, and this is something that I think we should change moving forward. This also, how did we get here? I'm sorry, doesn't cut it anymore. This I made in Midjourney. By the way, like all the graphics that you guys see in here, this whole PowerPoint slideshow, I'm a huge AI guy, advocate. I made this in Midjourney. This whole slideshow and all the graphics that are in here was also made in Midjourney with AI. So, Ma the Meatloaf, this I literally put on Twitter like right before SBF got put into jail for watching a football game where he wasn't supposed to. And here's Bitcoin Barbie after we fix this whole mess that we're in, right? So I think that we are in a place right now where there's a new opportunity emerging in front of us, and I encourage everyone here and listening later on to kind of take this and try to run with it. I think that in this time, we need to rebuild trust in the community, and then after a proven track record of results, and by proven track record of results, I mean like more projects need to come out that are actually delivering on real world use cases that aren't fucking up and like bringing back trust to everyone that's kind of been burnt out by all these rugs. Eventually, we'll have liquidity flow back into the NFT market. So here are those 3 topics. I'll just like briefly brush over them. Actually, we're doing okay on time. Pudgy Penguins. Does anyone know the Pudgy Penguins in here? They're an NFT collection on Ethereum. So I'm a huge fan of the Pudgy Penguins. I just got one the other day. These guys are doing something really, really cool and really innovative. They are, they are a collection of Pudgy Penguins, and the real world use case application that they have is that they just started selling plush penguins on Amazon. On the next slide, I'll get into that. But essentially, the stuffed toys, you can scan a QR code and you enter this Pudgy world, which is like a 3D metaverse where your animal can walk around. And you end up scanning the QR code and you end up owning a digital collectible without even knowing that you are an NFT holder on the back end. So this is an example, I think, of companies using the technology but not focusing on the technology. This is what I always talk about, the plumbing. There is no plumbing in like things like DeFi right now because everything is very rickety and brand new. So it's not like you go on Revolut, switch your USD to Euro. With the click of a button. In DeFi, we all need to do those steps individually in order to execute the function. Here, they're doing that exact thing with toys. So not only is it inspiring younger generations to get crypto curious, it's also leaning into mass adoption. I think that's a very awesome thing. VFriends is very similar. Does anyone here know Toys R Us or Macy's? I'm sure everyone in here hopefully knows Macy's, not because I'm American, but it's because like it's a very big known company. But VFriends does kind of the same thing. They teamed up with Macy's and Toys R Us. It's ran by Gary Vaynerchuk, which is like a big marketing guy based out of New York City. I'm sure a lot of people, you consume his content because he's like an OG, but they do a collaboration with Toys R Us and Macy's. So same exact thing. They're like, accountable alligator or whatever is like the name of the toy. And so you scan a QR code, it teaches you about the alligator and about crypto. So super awesome thing. Pudgy Penguins sold out 20,000 stuffed of these Pudgy toys that I was just talking about in 48 hours when they launched on Amazon. They sold $500,000 of stuffed toys in 48 hours, making them a #1 Amazon seller. I think that's an incredible thing. This is just an example of like one company that has real world use cases as well as VFriends. VFriends just launched back last Christmas season, so they're probably going to start like reporting numbers at the end of next year. Well, for some reason it didn't finish, but the Toys R Us and Macy's collaboration, they estimate that over $1 billion of revenue are going to come in from this sort of collaboration. So, excuse me. Revenue generating business models, broadening adoption. Now the third point here is bringing asset ownership to the owner. Asset ownership to the holder, excuse me. There's supposed to be a picture here, and I'm not sure why it's there, but it's supposed to be an avatar in a really, really big place on Illuvium. So just imagine a video game. But the game Illuvium, does anyone know Illuvium in here? All right, fuck, you guys in the back are like, know your shit. This is sick. What about you guys know Illuvium? Anyone else? So Illuvium is a Web3 NFT game created by Ultra Engine. So does anyone know Ultra Engine in here? I guess like if there's a bunch of devs, maybe Ultra. Okay, so no. All right, so Ultra Engine is the gaming kind of like framework that is used by a lot of games out there, but Illuvium chose to create their game on Unreal Engine, and so you get these kind of really, really beautiful animals and graphics that are like super high detail, very ultra realistic. In Illuvium, you can go and buy these animals, these Illuvatars they're called, and you can trade them in like a trading card game. In the real world game, it's like you fight with these Illuvatars and you harvest them. There's also like all these elements that you can collect. But anyway, the user owns all of these assets. So let's say I have a really rare Illuvatar or a really rare avatar. You can go and trade these on the marketplace if you're, let's say, you want to get out of the game ecosystem, or you need, you're ready to move on because like you beat the game. Like you can just sell this, get your liquidity back, and then you no longer obviously have the flex of having an expensive rare NFT, but these are just kind of like the use cases of that. Same thing with Star Atlas. So this is on, I'm realizing right now, this doesn't apply, but this is on Solana. So Solana is they're doing the same thing. Star Atlas is using Unreal Engine. They're just on Solana, but I just wanted to throw this in because it's a very, very useful example. Same thing like down here, you can buy this car. If you get a bunch of money and you're a whale in the game, you can whale out with the ships that they have and fly around the universe. Star Atlas is kind of like a universe-based game where you're in a galaxy as like one of these astronauts. So the cool thing about these NFTs, again, is DAO focus. So you have a choice in your game's future. These mechs is something that they recently installed into the game where you can literally buy one of those mechs and fly around the world as a mech guy. So I think I'm good with that. So this is what I'm building, the Forge DeFi. So going back to these kind of core elements that I was talking about through this entire presentation, the industry needs a new wave of innovation. We are the future forged in blockchain. So what the TLDR here is that this is an NFT-gated DeFi real estate protocol. What it's going to look like is that you buy yourself the NFT grants you access and grants you access into the protocol, which then gives you the opportunity to have exposure to these real estate opportunities. The interesting thing, how did I get involved in this, is that through the Sappy Seal NFT community, which is another Ethereum-based NFT collection, I met a couple of guys. The founder of this project has 15 years of experience in real estate with a verifiable track record. He does private equity rounds in the US, and you know, our goal, he keeps saying he's sick of talking to the country club folks. He's sick of talking to people that are, you know, buttoned up, 100,000 plus, you know, buy-in accredited investors. He wants to democratize. We keep saying we want to democratize opportunity for everyone and allow people to put their money into this kind of portfolio, get exposure to this, and have even distributed revenue model to people. So there's the Wall Street approach. As you guys know, it's like doesn't trickle down at all. Like we're trying to level that out. So the way that we're doing this is we're kind of combining the best of three worlds. I'm sure a lot of you, as you start to navigate your way through this conference, you'll learn about DeFi, you'll learn about account abstraction, you'll learn about real world assets is a big thing people are talking about. Privacy is also a big thing folks are talking about at this conference. We're trying to combine the best of these three worlds so that the result will be greater than the sum of its parts. So through NFTs, through people showing us that they have proof of passion, proof of a work, and proof of stake is what we're calling these three tiers. They'll be able to have access into this DeFi protocol, which will then have exposure to real world asset off-chain. So concluding and final thoughts, my purpose here for you guys to walk away with is with NFTs and real world use cases, we're going to be able to broaden adoption, start introducing revenue generating business models, and bringing asset ownership to the holder. Another really good one before I wrap this up. This is actually quite funny, but one of the people that we're in touch with bought a bunch of land in, I think, Ecuador, and they're starting up a chicken farm. So if you have the NFT, you have access to not only the eggs that they're selling, but also the revenue that is created from the eggs and the chicken farm. So really, really innovative. I'll call it that. Funky, but a very, very awesome way to kind of bridge this gap between the real world and mass adoption of crypto. So I'm here. If you guys want to connect, talk about marketing, talk about community building. We're looking for a few devs. If there's any like ambitious devs that want to start working at a DeFi protocol that are interested in creating complex DeFi structures, definitely come find me after this. I'd love to talk to you. That's my Telegram. And that's my Sappy Seal. I love it. I'm on Twitter with that Sappy Seal. If you guys want to get in touch with me, I'm on Twitter, Discord, and Telegram, all the same name, Crypto Matt K. And I'll stop it right here. Got 5 minutes if there's any questions, but thank you guys.
Given that real-world assets seem revolutionary in itself,
I found my water bottle. It was in my pocket this whole time. Sick.
If you apply the concept of a RWA to the whole of DeFi, it seems very revolutionary, but I'm seem very skeptical about any project that does RWA as a good investment vehicle. Meaning, how does the value for the investor conjure in comparison to other crypto projects which promise extraordinary returns, but I just don't see any returns in a company or project that does RVAs, because RVAs by their very nature don't convey great speculative value, as a shitcoin does.
I'm trying to think of, so the best way to kind of approach your question, I'm hearing you want, like, people are going to want their money back or their investment.
So if I invest in shitcoins, I expect either times 10 returns or nothing.
Yeah.
How does that actually happen in a RWA project?
Yeah, so what we're trying to do is build trust with folks to say like, hey, you're going to put your money in this protocol and you're going to get stable returns over years. Like, this isn't a thing where, you put a grand into a shitcoin and hope that by the next bull run, it's going to 100x. This is, and there's tiers to this. We're going to build like tranching systems. So if you want like higher exposure, medium exposure, low exposure to risk, each one of these will have their own range of percentage return on it. But the founder has a Web2 business with, like I said, that proven track record where year over year he generates about like 9 to 15% ROI in his investment portfolio.
It's like a regular company then.
Sorry?
Much more like a regular company than a typical crypto company.
So, can you repeat that?
Much more similar to a regular company than a typical crypto company.
Exactly. Yeah. So we're trying to build something here that is not like this. Yeah, not like a crypto company, and we're just bridging his real world asset or his real world real estate business on chain. Thank you.
Great, thanks. Anyone else?
That was a good question, by the way. Yeah.
Thank you for the talk. So my question could be, what is the main difference between real estate NFTs and tokenization of real estate for example, fractional ownership?
Yeah, so I was actually going to answer that. Like fractional ownership, I know that there are projects and opportunities out there that offer fractionalized ownership of NFTs. And what does that mean? It's like you buy into the NFT and it gives you a slice of that particular real estate model. So yeah, go ahead.
So kind of allows the same use cases, right?
Well, that's different than what we're building. What we're building is more like you put your money into a pool. That pool then lends out money into an off-chain or like a real-world asset real estate portfolio. And then as those dividends come, or the revenue that's generated comes back, that money comes back into the pool and then gets distributed to the people that put their money into it originally.
Cool. Thanks.
No problem, man. We got a question up front here. By the way, thank you everyone that stuck around. I know it's 6:30 and everyone's excited for the A0 party. I appreciate you guys sitting here and hanging out.
Okay, so my question is once again about real estate. Isn't real estate investment trust already democratizing the market? It is liquid, fungible asset, and it distributes dividends back to people. So how Web3 is helping to democratize real estate?
I love that you just asked that. And my immediate response in my brain is that is for REITs, or for people that are participating in the stock market, right? And for people that are in your traditional Web 2 model. Like, people in crypto that have crypto don't want to liquidate to then put back into fiat. You have to pay taxes, you have to do all this other stuff, right? Get an off-ramp, potentially KYC. So like, people that want to stay within the Web3 crypto ecosystem can use these funds. If you're an average crypto user, let's say some of the devs here, and you want to throw in, you have a couple thousand that you want to throw in somewhere that will give you sustainable yields over a long period of time, that's what this is. If you have fiat, then you can go and invest in the REIT.
Okay, I understand it, but anyway, you are not going back from KYC if you want to have a broad market and more capital flowing in.
I'm not following.
KYC you need anyway to be legal and to go for many users and adaptation and so on. So it's not going away.
So what's not going away? The
KYC process.
Yeah. So the KYC process will be part of the protocol. But I don't really know how to answer your question beyond what I just proposed. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no, this is good insight. Thanks for asking that.
Awesome. So thank you very much, Matt, and everyone. Oh, one more.
So how can you guarantee that the money generated by the revenue generated by the asset come back to the pool? Like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you obviously can't guarantee anything, but the thing that we're trying to build here, the trust that we're trying to build, is that the founder, with that 15 years, he is at a certain point in our growth trajectory online that we're trying to do with the cultivation of this community. Will inevitably dox himself and show his real Web2 company, and as well as like portfolio like returns and examples of what he's done in the past. Yeah.
Cool. Thanks.
No problem.
Okay, so thank you very much, Matt, and let's thank Matt as well for the great presentation.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Thank you.